Because of some changes in the requirements, I am posting an update to the Cotabato travel requirements, and this time, yung mga requirements galing sa Cebu Pacific Air and Philippine Airlines will be discussed. So stay tuned and watch the whole video to know the details. Welcome to Denzi TV, your public service channel. Please subscribe to get important updates, hit the notification bell, and select all so you will receive updates as they are posted. Unahin natin ang mga requirements na galing sa Cebu Pacific Air. Let's start with the requirements for passengers entering Cotabato City. All guests bound for Cotabato City are required to present the following documents to be accepted for flight. So this means that these documents should be submitted upon check-in. A negative RT-PCR swab test result conducted within 72 hours prior entry into the city. So, negative RT-PCR swab test po ang kailangan. So, please follow. Hindi po antigen, hindi po saliva test. Only RT-PCR swab test result ang tinatanggap for Cotabato City. Letter of acceptance from barangay or city government. So, dapat before your flight, kailangan mo munang makipag-coordinate sa LGU na pupuntahan mo sa Cotabato City. We have also additional requirements para sa APOR traveling to Cotabato City. So APORs should present a valid ID, travel order, and travel itinerary. Saan po kukunin to? Galing to dapat sa inyong kumpanya. All non-APORs, so for example, returning residents, ay dapat pong mag-undergo ng 14-day mandatory quarantine. So most likely, ito po ay gagawin sa bahay. So, home quarantine po ito. Dumako naman tayo sa mga requirements from Cebu Pacific Air for passengers going to Maguindanao Province. First, present a negative COVID-19 test to be accepted for flight. So, para po ito sa lahat ng guests bound for cities and municipalities within Maguindanao Province, except for Cotabato City. So, ito po ang requirement, negative COVID-19 test, okay, during check-in. Ano-anong tests ang acceptable? So, we have here RT-PCR swab test or antigen test or a saliva test. So, if I may recommend, so syempre, ang pinakamura dito ay ang antigen test. So, Cebu Pacific provides an offer, no, for passengers na ano lang, ang antigen test ay 700 pesos. So, ito yung pinakamura out of the 3 choices. So, you may want to avail of that. So, yung test nyo ay dapat valid up to 3 days from the date of release of result. So, bilangin nyo yung oras or araw from the day na na-release yung result. You have to count 3 days. So, valid pa rin yung result ninyo. Still in Maguindanao Province, ito naman po ang mga additional requirements para sa authorized persons outside of residence. We have valid ID, travel order, and travel itinerary. Ito pong lahat na ito ay pwedeng makuha galing sa inyong kumpanya. So if you are traveling to Maguindanao Province for official business or work, kailangan nyo pong mag-submit ng travel order at travel itinerary. These are all coming from your company. Let's proceed to the requirements, okay, for passengers of Philippine Airlines. We have here our general reminders. All passengers entering Cotabato City shall acquire a QR code from the Cotabato City Contact Tracing website or from the COVID-19 Contact Tracing System or CCTS, which shall be scanned by authorized persons. Okay, so tandaan nyo po, kailangan meron kayong QR code from CCTS. In the event that certain additional measures are imposed, persons who are unable to present their valid QR code shall not be allowed to enter. So para makasigurado po tayo na makakapasok tayo sa Cotabato City, please prepare your QR code. Ito po ay galing sa Philippine Airlines na reminder. Now let us discuss the requirements. So for Cotabato City requirements, para sa mga non-APOR, you have to prepare a negative RT-PCR test result valid within 72 hours from extraction. So this is a swab test. Okay, for Cotabato City, remember, swab test lang po ang tatanggapin. Letter of acceptance issued by the CDRRMO after confirmation by the barangay where such passengers shall reside. So again, you have to coordinate first with your LGU before you fly. Okay? Kasi kailangan po ng letter of acceptance. Secure this letter of acceptance before your flight. Kasi hahanapin to upon check-in. And a mandatory 14-day quarantine upon assessment of authorized medical personnel. So lahat po ng mga non-APORs kailangan undergo ng 14-day quarantine. So hindi sinabi to pero I assume this is a home quarantine. Still, Philippine Airlines requirements para naman po sa mga APOR. So this is another set of requirements for APOR. Negative RT-PCR test pa rin. Swab test valid within 72 hours. Identification card or company ID. Travel order. And travel itinerary. So pag APOR, this is usually the set kailangan, okay, for your travel. Para naman sa mga pupunta ng Maguindanao Province, so ito ay para sa lahat ng papasok ng Maguindanao Province, except for Cotabato City. All arriving passengers are required to present within 72 hours validity a negative RT-PCR test result or an antigen test result conducted by health facilities duly certified by DOH. Or pwede rin kayong mag-submit ng saliva test result na negative conducted by the Philippine Red Cross. So yung saliva test galing lang po always sa Red Cross. All arriving passengers shall submit to a mandatory medical or symptom assessment. So kailangan po na mapasa natin yung symptom screening kasi kahit na po meron kayong dalang negative test result, but if you failed the symptom screening, maaari po tayong i-hold or baka i-hold for quarantine. So it's a possibility. So always remember na dapat wala tayong symptoms when you travel. At yun po ang mga requirements, updated requirements for Cotabato City and Maguindanao Province. Okay, if you're traveling via Cebu Pacific Air and Philippine Airlines, please remember those requirements. Thank you so much for watching. If you find the content of this channel valuable, remember to subscribe. Feel free to check out the other videos as well. See ya!